All right, so I apologize to everybody that was watching part one. So our buddy brought his dog over, who's a little wild and crazy, and we were like, we got to take all this equipment down. Yeah, he's sitting over there in the background. He's actually our audience member.
He is
right over here, right now in the background. So if we have like a live laugh reaction, you know what I mean?
Do a phone a friend, be like,
yeah,
that's the audience.
yeah, audience. We can take a vote of one. No, but so the dog came over, so we're like, move it inside, and so I literally unplug my computer, I bring it upstairs, and then it fucking dies. Like, just completely dies. So that was not fun. So we took about an hour. I stuffed my face with a bunch of food.
2 Big Macs and 20 nuggets.
2 Big Macs and
4 sweet and sour.
4 sweet and sour. I don't know why you guys are so shocked by that. I am having severe chest pain right now. It's not actually bad. It's a little bit of tightness. Yeah. If I die live podcast, we'll go viral. We'll go viral. Hey, I will join. Right. No, but that's over at that point, dude. It's over at that point. It's the fucking, my veins are like,
your arteries
like shoving it. But you know what? I'll go down with Queen Elizabeth. It'll be all good. We'll get to heaven at the same time. Actually, I'm going to hell. So, but I will.
Well, that goes back to intelligence, life, and heaven.
We were talking about that.
That's kind of where we left off.
It is where we left off. I think that must have been where it was, right? We were but we were talking about we were talking about a creator, right? And like what is
it's like a force, like gravity,
Well, what's dark matter? That's what I was going to bring up at the end.
Dark matter is it's called dark because it shows our ignorance of what we don't know about it.
Yeah, but that was the question that I was about to bring up is like, do you think that has any...
I think
because that's the majority of the universe, right?
Because, 3% is matter, 27% is dark matter, and 70% is dark energy.
Yeah.
So... that's what scientists believe.
A lot of darkness in the world.
A lot of darkness.
97% is what we don't know. We only know 3, and that's our observable universe.
And
what
then
we
that
know
crazy.
about gravity, black holes, galaxies. All that shit.
Yeah, it's insane.
So the unknown is more terrifying if you think about it.
You think the unknown? Well, that's what people fear. That's what we were talking about. That's why.
Well, it's in human nature to fear.
Well, that's sort of some of the basis for religion, right?
Well, yeah,
is to like have some semblance of belief and security, and that's why you all, like even like blind faith.
Yeah,
like Thomas was criticized for having blind faith because he said, "I won't believe, I won't know until Jesus reappears and puts his, you know what I mean? That's part of the whole faith movement." Right.
Faith is the evidence.
But all religion, whether it's Christianity or Buddhism, it's all faith based. Yeah.
Well, and faith is the evidence of things not seen.
It
is. No, that's right.
But I've always said that
Hebrews,
like,
by the way, as I recall.
But I've always said like, you talk about a lot of atheists will come out and be like, "Why I don't need faith. I need science, blah blah." But I don't believe in unless you're an agnostic. You're a part of a religion. Like atheism is a religion. It's just absolutely these miraculous things on its own. So it's the same thing as a religion. Like you have these Christian apologetics that are like, God created everything. It's 6,000 years old. Any explanation you have that science created, well, like I'll just take the next step and God did that. God of the gaps. Yeah. Well, but whereas the science people, like the atheists, will be like, well, answers. There's a nothing. And, there's no way God could have created life. There's none of this. So that's why I kind of limit myself to being like an agnostic. Like, I don't fucking know. And I'm not supposed to know. Like, why should I know? Why, how important am I that I fucking know? Like, that's what pisses me off about a lot of these people that just pretend like they fucking know. It's like, really?
Well, I wouldn't say it's knowing. I would say it's more believing. Because nobody can accurately say, I know this to be true.
But you ask a lot of people.
But people say that all the time.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
and that's where the
certain,
fault is.
Like, regardless of the religious background, there's a certain percentage of those faiths that you cannot have a regular conversation where they're open-minded. They're they're hyper defensive.
Yeah. Well, they don't want to have.
They don't want to be.
Well, because their security lies in their faith. Mm-hmm. Again, that's their. When I call it like in the Christian faith, that's their quote unquote fire insurance. Not just fire insurance. It's more than that to a lot of Christians. It's a belief system. a higher way of life. It's a better way of life. It's a mechanism and a means of justifying that you're a good person. You live by certain principles. Like, I get all that.
Yeah, but I mean, even all religions share all that same stuff. I mean, if you really look at like
Sure.
Islam and Judaism, they all share the same things as Christianity.
Look at the Buddha.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that I think one commonality in all religion is like being a good person. Like, do unto others as unto yourself. Don't be a dick and an asshole. Just
so that brings up a great question. Where does that moral code come
Well,
from?
I actually have this question.
Because it's not religious based per se.
It's not.
There's in the Brazilian jungles and in South America that have been very limited to any sort
exposure.
of global exposure.
Yeah.
But if you lie, it's a sin. If you cheat, like there's a internal
code.
mechanism.
code.
Well,
moral behavior.
And I think that's
inert.
consciousness. Yeah, I think that's.
But it's inert.
Yeah.
It's regardless of how you're raised, where you're from.
Yeah.
It's a part of you.
have you
It's
ever
a
read
semblance of you.
Have you ever read the God Delusion by Richard Dawkins?
No. I haven't.
So the God Delusion, basically, he makes an argument. A whole chapter is about morals, and he makes a very strong argument that morals are actually evolved. Like it was basically trial and error on things that you can get away with in a society without being shoved to the side. And as humans, we're very social creatures, so you don't want to do things that are going to force you out of society and be by yourself.
like,
Because that's the
shun you.
ultimate punishment. Like, think about it.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
you shove people in solitary confinement, and it's like
It's the worst punishment.
it's the worst
Isolation
punishment.
Is the worst punishment.
and it'll send people fucking insane.
Yeah.
So it's like, you think like, okay, I want to procreate with this woman, and it's whatever
Shamed
ancient
upon.
times. Yeah, no, but it's like it's back in the day, tribes. You're like, I want to procreate with this woman, and she's like, no, I'm not down for it. And you're like, well, I'm gonna fucking do it anyway. And then you're like, oh, you just raped this chick, you're out. You know what I mean? You're like causing probably murder, theft, things like that. Like, there's always been a
And there
moral
always
code,
will
and there
be.
always will be. But I think a lot of Christians, and I notice like, and I wonder, maybe you might have some insight on this, or maybe not. But like, I wonder how many Christians are moral and follow Christian guidelines because they're scared of being sent to hell.
It's not fear.
So
That's the
there's
concept.
there's a
Like, how many people that are maybe teetering on the edge of they want to leave the
There
faith,
is
but they
a-
don't because they're afraid of
So
going to hell?
I would call them I used to call them Sunday Christians.
Yeah,
And
creasers.
Sunday Christians that they don't practice per se, but they justify in their own mind's eye that they're doing just enough that they have fire insurance.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And then that sort of goes back to that physiological part of our makeup, that
Yeah.
need for survival.
Yeah,
That
built-in part of
right, that we'll
believing.
we'll fight to stay alive, we'll fight to defend our family, we'll fight to protect our own lives, self-defense, right? But from a emotional, mental standpoint, we cling to faith and higher belief because we don't want to believe we're dead like a dog when we die.
We don't want to.
Most
Yeah.
large percentage of the human populace is not comfortable with that thought.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
I mean,
I'm
death is
fine with
death.
it.
It's not anything to be afraid of.
No, it's
No,
just,
no. That's easy for young men to say.
Well,
No, it is. It is.
No,
So
but
it's-
yeah, no, I
it's
Do
agree
you
with
know
that.
how many? I worked in the Christian church audience.
Yeah.
I worked in the church for a long time. Do you know how many, like, attendance members of that church were non-believers their whole life till they hit their mid-40s, till they hit their early 50s,
And then it
till
started hitting.
Well, because the reality of death, it's coming. It's more present. I'm not 26 anymore. I'm not a young man. Death is more real,
Well, and that's a good point
and
because it's like,
that changes perspective.
I'm fine with living like a degenerate now and fucking eating
Ding,
4
ding.
Big Macs and all that shit. But
ding.
but
When you're 50,
when I
you
get
probably
old,
don't wanna
but
eat
this
one
is
or two
why.
Big
But
Macs
I'm gonna
for
be
20
completely
minutes.
honest, and this is probably controversial. I've always told myself since I was a fucking kid, not a kid, but like since I was in like high school, I've always said I'm going out on my own terms. If I were tomorrow to be diagnosed with like stage 4 fucking pancreatic, I'm killing myself. Like I'm gonna go out on my own terms because it's like,
Why kill yourself? I mean, enjoy what you got.
oh, enjoy my, and then I'm sitting like this in a hospital.
Well, no,
bed.
you
No,
don't
no,
have
My
no,
family
no,
has
no,
to
no,
watch me
you don't have to go
deteriorate.
fucking
No,
get
but then it's worse if you don't
cooped
get
up in a
treatment.
prison.
It's gonna be, It's gonna be worse if
What,
I don't
you
want my
wanna be kept
family to
alive by
see me go
machines?
through that
Bro,
shit.
Right.
honestly, I would
You
rather
know,
go
I-
backpacking in the woods and let the elements do what they need to survive as long as I can, push myself to
And
the
that's
limits.
still
And
going
Do you know how
out.
miserable?
going out.
Do you know how
Some
miserable
pride with
dying of starvation with pancreatic cancer is going to
Well,
be?
if you know it's a terminal and there's no way of beating
No,
it.
but there's other solutions. There's other opportunities.
I'm going
Yeah.
to Oregon where you can do the fucking.
Well, okay, if you had a clock counting down saying you had 3 years left to
You
live,
wouldn't cut it short.
you would not kill yourself before
No.
that 3 years.
No,
was
I'd
up.
kill
You would
myself.
Go and do everything you possibly wanted
Ding. It's part of your makeup.
It is.
And
With what
and,
money?
And
Go rob a bank.
No.
You're gonna die in 3 years.
I'm not robbing the bank now. I spent the rest 3 years in
I'm
prison.
being facetious, but you understand.
No, I know what you're. Yeah,
Let
but
finish,
what I'm.
though.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
your perspective in that moment with that news is going to change your mental makeup, and you will see things and understand things differently, perspective-wise, in those last weeks or months, and that can be beneficial. That can be helpful. Like what you never want to call it short.
You know, honestly, I can attest to that.
I don't think I'm calling
Well,
it
here-
short.
here-
Like my
here's
time
something,
is.
You know, my birth mom was just recently diagnosed colon
Yeah.
cancer, and it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry about that,
My
man.
whole life, I had no relation,
Yeah.
no care whatsoever to be a part of her life. But just earlier this week, you know, I'm talking to my mom and I'm saying, let's throw her a party. Her birthday is coming up in October. You know, she needs the family support to rally behind her. That's going to help her in this situation and have her best odds of beating and fighting back. You know, and that's
But you also
an internal conflict. You know, but
Well,
that's what
but
you're
you
going
want
to
to have
say.
some closure too.
That when
like, you
death
don't have
closes,
regret.
exactly, when death closes in, you don't want to waste any time to get what you need, whether it be closure, answers, fulfillment, joy, whatever the situation, whatever it may be. It's part of the human nature to enjoy or to feel. Let me put it that way: to feel those humans and those human emotions like pain, sorrow, sadness, joy, happiness, glory. If you didn't know both sides, you would not know the value and be able to appreciate it.
So the first mental switch that occurs with someone that gets that sort of death sentence, right, that terminal illness, is you immediately reset to where you're no longer thinking about tomorrow. All you're thinking about is today, because only today's. And
Promise.
you learn to be present immediately because tomorrow's not.
But I feel like a lot of
right?
people
and
need
that
to learn that.
changes the way you think and the way you live.
And it changes your scope and your moral concept.
But
too,
people should
because
think that anyway.
I don't want my last words being said to somebody to be fucking mean. I
Right.
don't know what tomorrow is going to be.
Right.
So you're going to change unconsciously. You're going to change because of
And
that.
if you're a good person, if you have any strife with an old friend or a
You're gonna
loved one or
resolve it.
family, you
Yeah.
want to. I mean, I would.
Same.
I mean, not everyone, maybe.
Yeah, I
but
feel the
I
same
would.
way,
I would
yeah.
want to have.
Oh, I would. I'd
closure.
make as many enemies as possible. I'd make as many enemies as possible. I'm going out infamous.
I don't know. I mean,
I'll pray for you.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I need that in my life. That really touches me. But no, but like, I don't know. I feel like we should all live in today regardless of if you get that diagnosis or not. Like,
Well,
tomorrow's
I
not
think the
probably. I
reason
could
why
leave.
people don't.
But Brett, I
think
could
what Brett
leave.
is really saying, to sum it up in one sentence that I think could hit home to everyone, is that life is the most precious thing, and once you realize you have a clock
Ding,
on
ding.
it,
Yeah.
you're not going
Nothing
to
No, and I get
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
but we all have.
Materialism's out.
everything goes out the window.
We all have.
And what does it really come down to? Core relationships.
Yeah.
And
bonds.
And are you happy and content with oneself? So it's an opportunity to make peace with yourself.
Yeah.
And
Form of acceptance. Yeah.
That's again a pitfall of capitalism. Is so materialistic, right? Chase.
Yeah, but we live it. But that's.
Never money. So many rich people are miserable.
But that happens
And they
everywhere.
only chase the dollar their whole life. And next thing you know, I mean, I watched. It was a video of like a human that was a cartoon. Like it was literally like carrot on a stick, and it was the dollar
Chasing,
and
it's like running. I've seen
all
that.
the way
Yeah,
to
it's
the
like
graveyard.
running. Yeah,
And to the,
all the
yeah.
way to the. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter where you live. You need to make money.
Well,
you
yeah.
got to chase the
Yeah,
bag.
you got to live. You got to.
No, but there's a difference.
There is a difference.
There's a difference.
There's a difference between excess and just having enough
Okay,
to get
look
by.
at the
but,
individuals on Wall
yes.
Street.
Like you should.
Do you think the
people,
individuals on Wall Street could literally live like you do and be content with it?
Oh, dude, I can't even live like I do, bro. I can't even. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking joking?
But you asked the definitive question, like how much?
No,
is
but no,
enough?
but no, but enough.
When does
What
greed...
standard of living will help you find contentment?
But that's one of
because
the
until you find contentment, like you're not going to find happiness.
But that's one of the problems
I mean,
with
as long
humans
as
is
you
we're
have
naturally greedy.
A soft bed to lay in, you know, a warm house to be in.
But most people don't see it like that.
I mean, I guess you could say it's a minimalistic perspective, but it's not.
Isn't that? But isn't that
it's
insane?
not, because here's the thing: everything that is the most precious and valuable in this world is something that cannot be destroyed, and that's the bond you make with people. Everything else, like my car could break down, my house could burn, I could lose all my worldly possessions, but I know that the bonds I have with my people will never be broken. They'll never go away. That's the most precious thing.
That is true. That is true.
You
But
know,
isn't it?
So I don't need the biggest house. I don't need the most fanciest car. I don't need to have tens of millions of dollars.
But not
in my
everyone
bank
thinks
account.
that way.
No.
And our capitalist society.
But that's not about
pushes
capitalism.
it.
That's not about capitalism.
Yes, it is.
It's not about
and
capitalism.
every fucking sheeple that's pushed out to go get their MBA, to go into the fucking cookie cutter business world and wear the suit and tie and do the 9 to 5 and drive the Mercedes and all have the ticket.
Slave to the man.
Literally.
That's not all capitalism.
Well, it's a core principle that
I
works.
disagree. I think a core principle of capitalism, like, I think there's downsides, but capitalism created, like, more wealth for people and more comfortable situations for people than any other system in the world.
I'm not like shitting on capitalism. We live at the highest standard of living. Just about any country.
Which is because of capitalism.
Yes.
It is.
No, trust me, I love it. But I'm just saying, it's like anything else. There's still pitfalls of it. And one of the pitfalls of it is that you can adopt the mindset of not being happy until you make this income level, until you have this like senior leadership executive position.
But just to
you
play,
drive this car,
just to
and live in
play
this
devil's
house,
advocate to that,
and you define happiness and success by material possessions and social position, and life should not be that.
So, but just to play devil's advocate,
that's all I'm saying.
Just to play devil's advocate today, or I mean, not today. Every day I do, but today, don't you think it's like? I mean, look how far we've come to the point of where we're like, I can't believe these people just want a nice house and a nice car. It's like we used to be like fighting each other and murdering each other for like wheat and shit so we could eat and feed our families. And it's like now we have the ability to... And I'm not saying these people are miserable because they're chasing that, but I think it's like a pros and cons. Like it's kind of cool that like the worst thing that you could do in capitalism is fucking... just keep working your fucking ass off and keep chasing more and more and more. Like, that's not necessarily a bad thing in every single aspect. Like,
kind of to go full circle, though. But
you're a slave to...
And some of these people give back. Like, it's not a bad thing to chase,
so look at it
get
like
what
this,
you want,
right?
and also give back.
To get back to it, you know, look at it like this, right? The Stone Age. Mm-hmm. And then the Iron Age.
Yeah.
Or Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, and then, you know, so on and so forth, Industrial Revolution.
That's when all this really started, yeah.
Are those not forms of evolution of our species as humanity?
Well, I think it's forms of
social evolution.
Social evolution.
I will say it's actually
so for us,
standard of living, quality of life.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
When the resources become available,
right.
I mean, absolutely.
Well,
we
and
wanted.
you
When
started having
air
trade.
conditioning, when air conditioning became a thing.
Refrigeration was huge.
Yeah, oh, dude.
Refrigeration was probably one of the greatest inventions of all time. But
because prior to refrigeration, it was salt.
The microwave.
The microwave. And you know what? The guy who invented the microwave was given $2.
Yeah.
And then the company fucking took it and patented it and sold it and made billions.
Dude, but isn't it? I actually think humans, with all of this shit you were talking about evolution, I actually think us as a species were de-evolving. I think we're going backwards in evolution because we got to a certain point where we're self-sufficient, could like hunt, gather,
so you're
all
saying,
this stuff.
Have we hit our
we learned
climax?
how to farm. No, we've already hit our climax. Now we're dependent on our phones. We fucking DoorDash food to our door. We don't have to
when was our climax though?
I think humanity peaked. Like
when we were no longer self-sufficient.
Yeah, when
you're dependent.
When you can sit on your ass all day and not have to get up. And literally, you could sit in this chair,
be Wally,
and do every You could literally sit in the chair. I think that's when the problem. Like when you don't have any urgency to your life, and that's what a lot of humans miss. We're talking about why people are miserable. Humans don't live a life of urgency. There's no reason to get out of bed in the morning. You go to bed, you get out of bed. A lot of people are going to work for the man.
They have reasons to get out of bed.
Yeah, but they're not working for. They're not following their passions, goals, and dreams. They're working for some company. They don't believe in the fucking mission of the company. They're just doing it for a paycheck. Yes, it's to feed their families, so that's a pretty good motive. But it's like there's no urgency behind the modern human's life. And that's why it's become so dull and people are so miserable. And then people be like, well, I'll just chase more money. Because, like, what else am I going to do?
Because that can fill the void.
That can fill the void of no urgency. And you're not... Like, that's why it's a lot of...
money can't fill that void.
No, but people think it can.
But isn't that a pitfall of capitalism?
It is. Yes.
But I think it's a pitfall of technology. I think it's a pitfall of technology.
It's not a pitfall of technology. I think it's a pitfall of mankind because, I mean, based off what you're saying, I mean, the concepts and principles of what we exhibit as a species today was still prevalent 200 years ago. It just wasn't as specific and advanced, you know? I mean, tribes were fighting other tribes for food supplies.
Yeah.
You know, you got companies going after other companies for profits.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, but if
it's just more civilized based off of the society we've created.
Why are you guys both wearing your sunglasses, by the way?
Oh,
we
it's
always
deep topic.
It's deep topic. We always wear it in the
when you go deep into something.
Deep in the topic.
You know?
But that's what I think it is. Like, I feel like it would be very beneficial. I feel like America, and this caused some controversy, but I feel like America peaked in 1950, 1960. I think that was like
after
the baby
start
boom.
Of World War II?
After the end of World War II, the baby boom. We were at a good point in technology where we were able to do everything, but we weren't fucking reliant on phones. We didn't have smartwatches. We could you couldn't just fucking
So we peaked how?
I think we peaked because the level of happiness is going like this. And look at the fact that there is a massive problem. And now I know already the devil's advocate argument to this, which I can counter. But the fact that fucking so many people are on antidepressants shows that we have a major and look at like transgender, gender dysphoria, all this stuff going on. Like people like we have.
I don't think that's a
no. It's a mental health issue for sure. And the fact that we've gotten to the point of where like
that's a whole nother conversation.
No, but it's been around for a very long time. Because I mean, like go back to the stories of Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, that shit was going on back then.
Yeah, but it's like a person that did it. Now it's 15% of the population isn't happy with their own thing. That's a major evolutionary
new.
flaw.
I think that's something that's becoming more.
No, it's trendy now. So fucking
it's becoming more readily prevalent.
The emo people of our generation now are the fucking. You know, the people who used to go to fucking Skate City and slit their wrists and fucking wear their hair to the side are now changing their gender for this generation. That's what's happened, dude. It's literally what it is. They used to fucking skate around Skate City. They ruined the place. It was so much fun, and then you go there, then it's just like fucking. And then now they're changing their gender. But
isn't that a byproduct of how hard people are trying to?
I'm not sure if I say the pitfall capitalism again.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, and honestly, and what does that come down to? I mean, it's a byproduct of something that runs deeper, and that's a social acceptance.
But that wasn't the way in the 50s.
Society has
technology. Did you ever read? Are you guys familiar with the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever read his manifesto, like from front to back? So you can look it up online. It's free to read. You go to the Wall Street Journal. They have the whole thing printed. The entire thing, and he wrote this in like the 90s, right? Or even before, is all about how technology is destroying the human race. And he's predicting all this shit. He literally talks about how universities are going to become liberal and talk. Oh, he was in Mensa, or like 167 IQ. But they're talking about how like universities are going to become nothing but liberal breeding grounds and all that. And he literally predicted all this shit. He was like, you go to birds are chirping to the sound of car alarms, like back to the car. Like he's like, our society's been completely ruined by technology, which I agreed with in a certain aspect. Now it's great because, you know, all, you know, tens of people who listen to this podcast can enjoy, you know, our vast IQ and intelligence with the click of a button. But still, it's like, it's fucking. There's so many downsides of technology that have completely ruined us. They make us so unhappy. We get dopamine from fucking a little like pops up on your phone.
How has technology impact social life?
Horribly.
It's horrible, cultures. And we're social people.
We are.
We just went over that. So it's like, can I really get the same amount of like if we had done this podcast virtually? You're not having the same connection and conversation you're having like us sitting in a room together actually having this conversation.
No. But because it's a big thing that I've noticed, and it's a huge thing that I feel like a lot of people in previous generations notice even more so now, is that you cannot have a conversation with somebody for more than 10 5 to 10
Attention
seconds
span.
Yeah.
without breaking eye contact or looking at their phone.
Well, it gets
And
weird in certain
that
points.
is pathetic. It's pathetic.
It gets weird though.
Yeah, because you know what? When we make eye contact, it's connection. Because
This
it's
is
like,
fine
I
'cause
have
we're
your
talking.
attention. Yeah, we're talking.
This is fine.
But it's even like, hey, good morning. How are you? You know, all that kind of stuff. Just the little shit too.
Yeah, but if
we are social creatures that pick up on passive cues, so when
Yeah,
eye
no.
contact's
Yes,
not made,
non-verbal cues are stronger than verbal. But have you ever seen the experiment of the handshake? Have you ever heard of the handshake experiment?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you shake someone's hand, all right, I'm gonna shake your hand. At what point does a handshake become holding hands? So, like, if we do this, right, we're shaking hands.
it's from the moment because
It's from the moment. Right now, we're holding hands. We've now started
But
holding
it's
hands.
not. It's
Like, okay.
We're not, right now we've holded hands.
No, but we
and
go
we're
like this.
holding.
But
So
it's
let's
not,
do a normal.
It's not
handshake.
romantic.
No.
But it's still, dude. Okay, dude, hold.
Okay.
And we'll no. And let's just fucking sit here like this.
Well, that's different.
It's
That's
getting a little
different.
weird.
Is
Yeah.
it a greeting?
No,
Because
now
this
it's
is
getting,
no
dude,
longer
stare into
greeting,
my
it's like,
eyes
what's
and
going
fucking
on?
hold onto my hands.
What are we
This
doing?
Off, just
Why are
is
we doing
all right.
this?
It's starting to get a little
Can
weird.
we stop?
No, exactly.
Okay,
That's what I'm
thank
saying.
you.
But that's the handshake thing.
You
It's
have
like,
you have to understand that social cues are built upon what are considered norms in society.
Yeah.
There are some cultures that would literally go like this, and they're like this, and they're
Oh,
like,
the
"Let's
kissing on the
go,
cheek,
brother!"
a lot of people kiss people on the
Yeah,
cheek.
you know.
French
So
culture does that.
yeah.
so you gotta take things with stride in perspective to territories and social customs. So that's not a fair statement to say
So
across
let's-
the board.
No, here's the thing. But we have become less socially connected with
So let's get back to that case in point.
Yeah.
Why? And
why technology has done that.
because it grew so fast, so quickly.
We couldn't adapt to it.
We couldn't adapt.
Our brains are so
and
small and
so the
underdeveloped.
parents of that technology generation began losing touch with how to be able to relate and communicate and talk and get their kids to show up at the dinner table
Yeah.
and talk around dinner every night.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what's brutal?
And
That
so
was-
the connections
20,
lost.
30
Think
years
about
ago,
this.
yeah.
No, this is brutal.
Yeah.
I was listening to Joe Rogan. He was actually talking about this yesterday on a podcast. He was like, it's insane that you get a phone at 10 years old and there are 10-year-old kids jacking off to pornography because they have such easy access to it.
Easy.
At 10 years old, they get an iPhone because their parents don't want to fucking deal with them.
Well,
so like, here's an iPhone. It's it's lazy
It's-
parenting.
it's sad.
You have no connection with your parents.
It's sad.
Siblings sit in their rooms and fucking...
It disables them.
Are they
from-
lazy parents or because they're capitalists and chasing the man and they want a bigger house and better car?
I don't even think that
They're
is.
working 60 hours a week. And it's not just one of them, it's both of them.
Yeah. But you know why that
to
happened?
provide
Do you
for-
know why?
To be able to keep up.
Just
Do you know
saying,
why
yeah.
both parents have to work? Because women entered the workforce.
No.
That caused the
Yeah,
value of the
I
dollar and the
don't-
value of the position to be completely eradicated because now you have to have double the amount of people that each company is paying. Wages drop. No, it's true. Like, wages started dropping when women entered the workforce on a mass
But
scale.
standard of living has gone up and it's through the
Substantially.
roof.
Yeah.
And standard of living is higher than it's ever been. Like, the individuals that live on welfare in this country have a higher standard of living than over 85% of the entire
It's
rest
true.
of the world.
That's our
Yeah.
taxes.
So, and yet we have the most miserable people. So what does that really say? What we're doing, it's not working. It's not working.
We're overworking ourselves and we're not enjoying what we want to really
But that's
do.
because there's no way to make a living, dude.
Okay,
If
okay,
you want to
were
make a
ask-
living,
if you go out to any random place and you ask somebody, if you could do anything, money's not an issue, anything in the world, what would you do? And I would probably say a good statistic, 7 out of 10 people, their first thing that they would say is probably travel the
that's
world.
literally what I was going to say
Yeah.
is travel the world.
And you want to know why?
Yeah.
It's because they want to get connected and meet other cultures.
Cultural
and-
experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that would be
yes.
healthy.
And that's
Yeah.
good for the
It
soul.
helped me.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's
you
great, like, getting-
And what we do, we don't have the time. I don't have the time to take a month off of work and take a fucking backpack trip in Indonesia.
Well, that's-
I would love to do
Dude,
that.
you know what the
I would love
solution
to.
is?
But you
the
know what I
solution
have to
is?
do? I have to work my way to get to a point where I have the ability to do that. Because
Yeah.
that is what the social custom has said is what you need to do in order
Exactly.
to survive.
But you know-
even
but-
with that though, is people don't prioritize it, and guess what happens? They work
Can you
their
get me-
tails off. They increase their income level,
And
then they just spend more.
They
just
squander
spend
it.
more.
Yeah, they squander it. Exactly.
All right,
they
let's,
don't save.
let's pause it. It's been 30 minutes.
Yes,
just
yes.
under.
Step out and burn one quick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we kind of made the executive decision to call it
Yeah.
because we've been podcasting straight
Yeah.
since like 4:15 or something like that. So
On and off a little bit.
on and
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On and off, definitely.
Minus, everything. But anyway, so this is part 2. We'll come out with another episode another time. Thank you, Brett, for coming on again.
Yeah.
We'd love
Always
to
a
have
pleasure.
you. Yeah, we'd
Good
love
to
to have you on
host.
again.
Good having you guys.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to bring it over here
was
and
fun.
Good, kind of switch up the
good
environment.
chat,
Yeah,
good chat.
it was a good chat. So anyway, thank you guys. Patreon.com/TSFDpod. 5 Patreons.
We'll go camping.
And we're going to send Brett out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean on a raft.
Whoa.
So subscribe to the
don't know about that
Patreon.
one.
Catch you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.
Just go to the stop button.